anyone else. But laying down the challenge was Colin McRae. Even in a brand new car, the Scots message was clear as he leapfrogged Petter Solberg to steal second overall. Contrast that with teammate Carlos Sainz. Despite a wealth of experience here, the Monty proved it can still bite back. In particularly icy conditions, the Spaniard smacked into a rock face and spun, damaging the suspension. Stage 4, and once again the ever-quick, ever-consistent Petter Solberg drove to the limit, desperate to catch Gronholm. But he pushed too hard, sliding wide and smashing through the railings. He was lucky he made it to service. Unbelievable then that Solberg's grit and determination paid off. He finished the stage second quickest. This is Marco Martin's Monty debut on Michelin's. Look at this for a scare.
43 miles straight, slow line.
While his teammate Francois Duval was also feeling his way on one of the most difficult events in the calendar. He kept out of trouble until 3 kilometers from the end of the stage, when he slid wide, the same place as Martin. And Colin McRae also had a Monty moment. That cost the Scot almost half a minute to Gronholm.
Petter, the car's looking a bit sorry for itself. What happened?
Well, actually, I had 5 kilometers per hour and I just had everything under control and then just hit the ice and hit the pole on the bridge, and I was hanging out and just dipping, and I was stopped for maybe 20 seconds and then I couldn't start it properly, and I went back again and just went flat out.
Back at service, the Subaru mechanics worked hard to repair the Impreza. Armin Schwarz was next on the list. Bouncing his Hyundai accent around the mountain scenery, but just holding on with some deft car control. But Subaru's worst nightmare became a reality in stage 5.
20. 5 right minus, tightens over bridge. 16, wet and slippy, line into 4 right minus, tightens 2.
The treacherous conditions pushing Petter Solberg's Impreza over the edge.
Well, I came down the road here and I have just slippery in my pace notes, and I just understeered a little bit and I hit the bridge, and then I broke everything. But everybody else that I've been watching here have done the same, but I'm the one who's left here.
Meanwhile, Tommy Mäkinen suffered the same fate. And had an early exit. So with both cars out, Subaru mechanics were left to pack up and go home. Tommy was left to reflect.
It was what they recommend for us. I was thinking something else, and I was pretty sure what we should have. But they recommend that one, and everybody pushed it too hard to have it, and then I thought, okay, I go for that, but it was a mistake.
Sebastian Loeb was keen not to be outdone by his new teammate. And despite this spin, the Frenchman equalled McRae's time. Freddie Loix was about to find out how slippy this surface was. And how steep these mountains really are. There was no way back for the Belgian.
Bateri miinuslunta.
But it didn't pay off this time. This brush with the mountain meant the world champion had to stop in the stage to take a look. Precious seconds ticking away. Further in the stage, the pair were forced to stop again to make emergency repairs to the wheel. He completed the full 32 kilometers of the stage, but his time was over 55 minutes. Unheard of for the world champion, unheard of in rallying. With no troubles, he'd be on the podium. But the treacherous conditions prove once again that nothing can be taken for granted on Monty. The big question was, how much would that dice with ice cost him? Colin McRae is settling into a new team and a new car, and the Scot was finding his feet. But a wrong pace note resulted in a scary moment. During the spin, snow got into McRae's air intake. The engine splutters. Scary moments for the Scot, who won't be happy to lose 40 seconds.
Derecha rápida, menos que cierra. 2. Rasante fondo, 2.
Proving that precision is everything in Sweden. Didier Auriol is clearly enjoying his return to the WRC in a Skoda, but in Sweden even his vast experience counts for nothing. The former world champion was caught out by a snowbank. Made his WRC debut in Sweden just last year and impressed Ford with his 10th place finish. This year the extremely slippery conditions were telling on the youngster. What a way to find out how the Swedish rally can bite. So big was the impact that Duval's car was stuck in the middle of the stage. Watch Armin Schwarz is on board as Duval's co-driver Jean-Marc Vartin tries to warn him of the hazard. The stage had to be cancelled. Burns, there was everything to go for. There's so many thousands of fans lining these stages that Rovanperä doesn't realise that some of them are trying to warn him to slow down. By the time he sees Piccolisto's car, it's too late. This amazing footage caught by a fan shows the problem. Rovanperä simply didn't know he was there. An ambulance arrives on the scene to take a totally shaken Piccolisto to hospital. There's no way there'll be any more competitive runs through this one, and drivers were given a set stage time.
There's a lot of people on the road, many kilometers there, and I not recognize this. There is something's problem because I not see well is nobody take the good mark. This road is closed, and we coming over the crest, and I see there is one car, and we hit the car and finished.
Eno and co-driver Jukka Aho are competing in a privately entered Ford Focus WRC. The Finnish pair are tipped to be stars of the future, but their performance through Raman wasn't going to impress anybody. Out on the stage and Sebastian Loeb was flying. Nobody wants a repeat of the Peugeot incident, but perhaps the marshals were being too cautious this time. Here Sebastian is slowed down, but he can't see why. It's an age before he reaches Tuahino, who's well off the road. The Frenchman is furious. Tuahino leaves, but just look how close Carlos Sainz is. The Spaniard was also waved down. It doesn't cost him as much time as Loeb, but El Matador doesn't know that, and he's very, very angry. Despite his earlier attempts to fix a broken oil pipe, Mikko Hirvonen's efforts were in vain. The Ford driver joined the retirement list. The temperature had risen to a balmy 10 degrees when rally leader Petter Solberg hit the stage, but he was still on the ice tyres. There could be trouble ahead.
Shot by left.
Let's look at the replay. A stray rock is in Solberg's line, which he drives straight into.
Shot by left.
The impact is enough to break the suspension, and out goes the Subaru.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe that either.
But back to Armin Schwarz. The car is on fire. There's still 71 kilometers of road section between him and the safety of service.
I thought it's the same like last year on the Rally GP. You know, the car is on fire since 10 kilometers. Look at this.
Yeah, it doesn't look good, Armin.
I don't think it's a big damage, but, you know, like, pretty destroying, you know. You don't know what it is.
Rovanperä coming through these stages. If we slow the shot down, it's easier to see just what these drivers have to contend with. It's little wonder they're having a rough ride.
Vasen eri 3, vasen K. Pitkä oikea K.
It's deja vu for the Finn. His suspension's gone too. He breaks the bad news to the team.
Pitkä vasen K, 3.
But we not can fix it because it's a top is broken and we need continue or stop. It's two choices.
But no one's as disappointed as Harry himself. He so desperately wanted to win here, it's almost unbearable. This is the damage. The suspension unit has broken through and into the car. Harry has to secure it before being able to continue. A ratchet strap has many uses. Harry uses this one to hold down the shock absorber so he can get back to the safety of service.
2 kilometers maybe and out.
There's few Petter Solberg's hoping to keep Gronholm in his sights. But it's a left-hand corner that ruins the Norwegians' event. On a rally that's renowned for its huge crowd, Solberg rolls where there are none. It takes over 2 minutes to get the car back on its wheels and he drops down to 40.
Using Virtual Spectator, I want to show you who was the most committed over one of the rally's fastest and biggest jumps. Here, Marco Martin is the quickest, but only by 4 kilometers over Grönholm. But when we freeze him on the jump, the young gun is now 17 k's faster than Grönholm. He's just lifted off the throttle, whereas the others have braked and slowed down in the process. This is testimony to the young Estonian's commitment and confidence in his new Ford Focus.
The Belgian grinds to a halt on the stage. He tries to fix the problem and manages to limp to the end, but retirement was inevitable. So, last year Tommy Mäkinen lost his gearbox on this event. This year, on exactly the same hairpin, it happened again. He only has one gear and that's second. The Finn loses over 7 minutes. His challenge for the lead is over.
Käy ylös ja alas ne kaikki vaihteet.
Next up, stage 4.5 kilometers into stage 9, his engine packed in. Petter Solberg passes the stricken car just a couple of minutes later. But by the time Armin Schwarz reaches the scene, the car is an inferno. The handbrake is completely burned out and the car's rolling across the stage by itself. By the time the mechanics arrive to retrieve the car, it's a burnt-out shell.
We had a fire in the car. I don't know why, and probably won't find out because the whole car's burnt out now. But it just went on fire, and it got so bad towards the end we had to stop and get out, and it was already too big a fire to put out. A good clean run would have got some good points at the end, but not this time.
It wasn't just McRae's car that went up in flames. 10 acres of stage side had also gone up in smoke. So after an amazing... Back at service, there was plenty of work to be done on Gronholm's car.
Like one place and
Sebastian Loeb's Argentina debut has been very impressive. The Frenchman has to exit through the co-driver's side to inspect the damage, but his rally is over. Marcus Gronholm is hunting down Richard Burns for that second place. With Sainz out of the way, Gronholm knows he's every chance of pulling off this amazing comeback. The Finn sets the fastest time. Burns powers to the end of the stage, but despite all his efforts, he can't keep his teammate at bay.
Slight left long to crest 100. Flat left in 70.
19 seconds slower, Gronholm grabs second.
Richard finished the stage.
Carlos Sainz is understandably agitated, but he wasn't going to let the dramas at service slow him down. It's an immediate comeback. He takes third off Burns. But there's a new rally leader, Marco Martin. Perhaps he's the only driver who can hold Gronholm off and take his first ever WRC victory.
32 plus right. 36 minus right.
Yet again, there's an entirely new look to the leaderboard. Martin leads from Gronholm, Sainz moves to third, but it's still too close to call.
Carlos, you're finishing the day in third position, not in first position. How annoyed are you about this afternoon?
Well, obviously I'm quite disappointed because it was just a stupid problem of communication between Mark and myself, and just that's it.
Do you hold Mark responsible, or is it both of you?
Well, as I said, I looked to him and I understood what he said to me is to go in, and he was apparently trying to say the other way around, so it was a problem of misunderstanding.
Now we are, I don't know, 15 seconds behind Marco. Not bad, but maybe he can push back. I think he will try.
It's gonna be very, very difficult to keep him behind, I think. So we are trying quite hard, and we even gambled with a tire choice, but nothing we could do to stop him, I think, at the moment.
Rally Argentina has proved that in this game you can take nothing for granted, and with 4 men in contention, day 3 looks set to be a gripping climax. And for all the news from the World Rally Championship, check out the website at www.wrc.com. Argentina. Day 2 saw a spectacular recovery from Marcus Gronholm as he charged back up the leaderboard to second. Carlos Sainz looked set to end the day in first until he received a 1-minute time penalty for entering service too early. This left Marco Martin at the top of the leaderboard. And with less than 27 seconds covering these 3 and 4th place Richard Burns, day 3 is set to be a nail-biter. And will one of these drivers be in the running for the Inmarsat Star of the Rally Award? Find out at the end of the programme. As the drivers arrive at the first of the day stages, there's a little time left to relax before it's down to business.
Faster, faster!
While opinion is split as to who'll win the rally.
Marco Martin, no?
Marcus is quite strong.
Well, it could have been really good fun for Marco Martin to win. You know, he really deserved it. He had done a very good job.
Are you intimidated by this double world champion? He's so very fast.
I think he's a bit of pain for everybody. He's too fast sometimes. But it's no point to moan about that he's too quick. We have to make sure we are quicker.
Maybe he can be a bit nervous, yes, but if it's affect his driving, I don't know. Let's see.
Iron Hyundai arrived here hoping to put an end to a disappointing run. Armin Schwarz 7th and on course for 2 points. Harry Rovanperä is 5th, but that makes him the slowest of the Peugeots. Richard Burns is trying as hard as he can to get on the pace of Marcus Gronholm, but feels Gronholm's driving style suits the car better than his at the moment. The Englishman might not be on Gronholm's pace, but he's definitely making Carlos Sainz's life difficult. Sainz would still be leading if it wasn't for a time penalty. But today he has to focus on holding on to 3rd. Burns has set the fastest time on the stage so far. His time is on the right. Carlos is slower. His lead is cut to just half a second. Marcus Gronholm has done an incredible job to be sitting on the start line on the final day, challenging for the lead.
Vasen nopea, kivi sisällä sumppu ja oikein hidas yli nypyn sumppuun.
But a flawless run by Marco Martin might just keep Gronholm at bay.
Long, don't cut. 70.
But just 11 kilometers into the stage, and all's not well in the car.
Super 1 for Beef. The engine is broken. The oil pressure light came on. 30 seconds later, it's gone.
We are still driving. Do you want us to continue? It's no power. It's like really flat. The engine is really flat, but it's still moving. Do you want us to continue or stop?
If you have no oil pressure, then stop.
We are stopped.
For the second rally in a row, Martin retires with engine failure. It's a remarkably calm scene around the retired Ford, but it's a sad end to a stunning performance.
Okay, we have been close a couple of times, but haven't done it so far, so we keep trying. It's a bit annoying sometimes that things are not going very smoothly, but I have to accept it and try hard in Greece, I think.
So, for the 4th time this rally, it's all changed at the top. Gronholm now leads. Sainz takes 2nd, but Burns is so close, the Spaniard's going to have to work hard on the next stage. Didier Auriol is the best of the Skodas. He's in 7th place overall. More manufacturers' points on the cards for the Czech team, who've scored on every round so far this season. Francois Duval is desperate to make service. He's just lost another gear and time is slipping away from him. That's very bad news for Petter Solberg, who gets caught in his dust and it's difficult to see ahead.
It's a very slippy, 6 right minus into 2 left of a crest.
The fight for 2nd place is well and truly on. Richard Burns continues to push Carlos Sainz. The pressure's not getting to the Spaniard. He's fastest on the stage. So no trouble at the top, but plenty of action. As they stand, 3 French cars are heading for the podium and 2 Skodas are heading for points. But it's the sombre atmosphere over at Ford. The disappointment of Marco Martin's retirement is felt by all the team.
It was a big challenge for Marco this morning to be able to stay in front of Marcus. But we were, everybody's in very good spirits. We felt we got his confidence level very high this morning before he left, and obviously to hear the radio crackle into life 11 k's into the stage to say that it had an engine problem, as you can imagine, the whole team's pretty deflated.
Over the years, Rally Argentina has caused plenty of surprises. Here's a look at the archive for some of the most bizarre moments in rallying. Two cars were on course to score points for Skoda, and following the retirement of Hyundai's Armin Schwarz on stage 23, Didier Auriol and Tony Gardemeister moved further up the leaderboard. Petter Solberg is the only Subaru left in the rally. Teammate Tommy Mäkinen had no chance to score and asked to withdraw. He wanted to get back to Finland to celebrate the birth of his baby son. Harry Rovanperä still trails both his Peugeot teammates, the Finns fourth. Richard Burns is still chasing down Carlos Sainz. But he's not 100% happy.
We're still pushing hard, but in the previous stage, something must have happened in the service, because we've got, I've got boost, I've got power, but I have no response in the engine at all. So I'm having to slip the clutch and try and feed it out of every corner, and it's not ideal when you're fighting.
Carlos Sainz has done an incredible job for Citroën. It's the first time the team have contested Rally Argentina, and any podium place would be a great result. But Sainz is sore that he's not winning, and third place would be a bitter disappointment. But he might have to settle for it. Burns leaps into second. Meanwhile, Gronholm's really enjoying himself now. 2 faster stage times and no problems. This is the WRC leaderboard via Inmarsat. 5 seconds separate Burns from Sainz, but only bad luck or a mistake can deny Gronholm a win. So just 11 kilometers to go, and the battle is well and truly on. Sainz is first in. Two minutes later, Burns follows. He needs everything to be working well. He desperately wants to finish ahead of Sainz.
Fast right and medium right plus in. No.
We've lost power. We've lost power.
We lost power, not tire. We lost power, no turbo.
Be safer, Robert. Be safer, Robert. We have no turbo, no power. No power. Understood.
At first stage. It's not important.
Maybe.
Is there anything I can... I've tried power, Maxi A, Maxi B, road, nothing.
50, right max, the right max.
Richard, do you think you've done enough to hold? I have not done enough. Turbo's broken.
Huge frustration for Burns. Let's relive the moment via virtual spectator.
Here we see Richard Burns chasing Carlos Sainz. He has lost his anti-lag system, which gives him instant throttle response. As he goes into this next left-hand corner, his turbocharger blows. He's lost 75% of his power. He's lost so much power, he can only use second gear. He's now checking all the gauges, he's pressing all the switches, but he realizes there is nothing he can do other than cruise the last 5 kilometers.
Sainz will know exactly how Burns feels, but this time luck smiles on the man they call El Matador. He's fastest through the stage and second in the rally. Perhaps the memory of the time penalty and what might have been accounts for the subdued handshake. In an event that's demanded 100% from the world's greatest rally drivers, it's Marcus Gronholm who's been the star. A stunning drive sees him finish 26 seconds in front of the others to take victory.
Fantastic drive. Yes, fantastic drive.
A worthy win for the world champion. His title defence is well and truly on. Third place for Burns is a huge blow, but great work from Sainz to bring his Citroën home to second.
This is a very, very bittersweet second place for you.
It could have been another victory, but that's life. When those things happen, you cannot do anything. And at the end of the day, well, I'm happy. I think we did a good rally, pushing very hard from the beginning. The car has been working very well, and it's not so easy to come here with a new car without testing and be straight away competitive.
It was quite difficult fighting with Carlos, but we got in front, and then the last stage, 8k from the end, the turbo just stopped.
Did you take any consolation from being on the podium, though?
At the moment, now, maybe in half an hour.
Marcus, congratulations. That must be one of the best comebacks ever in rallying.
No, I don't know ever in rallying, but maybe for me the best comeback after so many minutes we lost on the first day. Not many, but too much.
A great performance from the Finn, and that's why he was Nicky Grist's Inmarsat Star of the Rally. Burns may not have had the result he wanted, but it's enough to keep him ahead in the championship. But Gronholm's cut his lead down to just 2 points, and behind them the 3 Citroëns, but now it's Sainz who's leading the pack. At the other end, Harry Robben-Perez gets his first points of the season. The French teams are dominating the Manufacturers' Championship. 5 rounds gone and Peugeot lead from Citroën, while Subaru and Ford are locked in their own battle, which will continue in round 6, the world-famous Acropolis Rally in Greece. Rocks, wrecked cars and searing heat drains bodies, but it's always a great fight, and it's a rally Marcus Gronholm's never won. But for now, he'll savour his victory in South America. Rally Argentina has been a thriller. 3 days of edge-of-your-seat action and a rally that's going to be remembered for a very long time. Find out more about the event and the World Rally Championship on www.wrc.com. And so, from Argentina, it's goodbye. Hyundai's Armin Schwarz is hoping to score some points here, but maybe he was trying just too hard. A big smash, but Schwarz and his co-driver Manfred Hiemer escape unhurt, but the car is going nowhere.
There was a fast right bend and it tightens more than we expected, and we go into the bank, and then from this right bend we were thrown to the other side in a left bend in the bank, and from there on we started to roll, and I don't know, it was heavy. I'm wondering why it not stopped, but it was really fast and heavy.
To catch him. But Solberg's mind was totally focused on the Ford of Marco Martin in second place. The difference between them was just 5 seconds. But it's far from a trouble-free run. Early on in the stage, Solberg picks up a puncture.
Long, tight and slippy over narrow bridge.
The Norwegian knows he's lost time, but he'll only know how much at the stage end. The clock on the right shows Richard Burns' time.
6 right, opens 80.
As soon as he crosses the line, Solberg knows he's slipped to 4th.
Petter, it looks like you've worn the tyres out completely. How was that stage?
I went very well for a while, and then we had a broken right tire the last 5 kilometers. Lost too much time. Terrible.
Harry Robben-Perez, the first of the 3 Peugeots to venture onto 31 kilometres of Ararua. Taking 20 seconds off his teammate Richard Burns and snatching 3rd is a big job for anyone. But Robben-Perez knows a mistake from any of the men ahead means he's on for a podium place. But it's the Finn who makes the error. Rally New Zealand claims another victim.
I feel his tires is almost finished and lose a little bit line in soft gravel and never coming back, and that happens.
Next through the stage is Richard Burns. With Robin Perry off his tail, his third place is looking very safe because Petter Solberg's over 40 seconds. If all goes according to plan, Marco Martin will start the final day of the rally in second place. But the dream is about to be shattered. The engine suddenly loses compression and he grinds to a halt.
Exhaust temperature.
He's forced to retire.
I'll have to get out with an arrow. That's a dangerous place to stop.
We were having good fun, so I wanted to do more stages, but okay, at least we showed that our new car is very competitive, and we still need to sort out some problems, but I'm sure the future looks good.
And despite some heart-stopping moments, Petter Solberg was the best of the Subarus.
Come on!
But still trying to get a grip is Freddie Loix. Out of sight of the cameras, the slippery conditions got the better of the Belgian. He went off the road and damaged the car so badly he had to retire.
We have been struggling already all the morning with too much side wear from the car, always stepping out the moment you want to turn in, so it has been already a few times tricky. Not that the speed was so high, not that we overdrove the car, but it was feeling quite dangerous.
From the start line of stage 18, just look how running later on the road improves your grip. Marcus, running last WRC car, gains a second in the first 400 metres. His advantage for being the fastest on day one.
A definite change for next season will be the arrival of the Skoda Fabia, which is set to replace the Octavia. Drivers Tony Gardemeister and Didier Auriol have been testing the new car, which Skoda hopes to debut before the end of this season.
The driving style was different, and Fabia turns very well on tight corners and like this, and I'm quite optimistic also from that car.
The ceremonial start took place from the famous Acropolis in Athens, to the delight of the thousands of fans who had turned out to catch a glimpse of rallying's elite. The Acropolis is one of the WRC's classic events, and this year it celebrates its 50th anniversary. Who will add their name to the list of rally greats who have won here in the past? Carlos Sainz is loving his new Citroën. Straight away he lays down the challenge. 1 second faster than Gronholm, he's the man to beat. Sainz is very experienced on the Acropolis, but his teammate Sebastian Loeb made his debut here last year and finished an impressive 7th. But he won't improve on that position this year. The Frenchman has engine failure.
François pour Daniel.
His rally is over.
We broke the engine at 11 kilometers from the start of the first leg, the first stage, so I'm not very happy, but it's like this.
And Armin Schwarz wasn't going to add to his points tally either. A loose stone had broken the cam belt, which meant the engine instantly stopped. Game over for Schwarz. The Ford team have announced their new sponsors. Marco Martin's car will now carry the Castrol name, while Francois Duval's will bear that of Castrol's parent company, BP. Ford are confident this will be a successful partnership.
I think it's important that those companies merge together and they show that they are working together in motorsports. Yeah, this is really where you can show in public that the companies are going together and develop different programs. It's engineering programs, it is marketing programs, and so on.
Colin McRae is also determined to claw back some time, but falling foul of the muddy conditions, the Scot spins and stalls the car. Amazingly, he's still second fastest on the stage. That's a great drive from the Acropolis master. There's still no trouble at the top for Marco Martin. He's guided through the stage by co-driver Michael Park.
And 6 right through dip. 30 crest.
Unbelievably, that impact unfastens his bonnet. They're still 20 kilometres ahead, but amazingly, Martin prefers to continue rather than stop to secure the bonnet cover. That's how much winning here means to him. It's lucky it only cost him 6 seconds, and he's still the leader.
Marco, the bonnet's open. What happened?
I don't know, it just went through the bump and just it came open. And it blocked all the cooling inside the car for 20 Ks. It's warm.
Francois Duval and co-driver Stéphane Prévost have only been together for a few rallies, but they've been on the podium in Turkey and now they are challenging for the lead in Greece. But this is what can happen when there's a mistake with the pace notes. There's no way the young Belgian's getting out of the ditch. At the end of the stage, Duval's father is waiting for his son, only to be told his rally is over. It's a sad end to a great performance.
Just the last corner before the on the road, the correction on the note. Yes, not understand my co-driver. It's not easy, just a little bit off on the road.
Tommy Mäkinen's desperate to hold Burns off, but he's not having the best morning. He stalls twice, but it doesn't cost him anything. To the 10th of a second, Mäkinen sets exactly the same time as Burns. Oblivious to McRae's woes, Petter Solberg charges out and he's resolute he'll hold off sights. No. It's a very lucky escape. On the road again, and there's more trouble in store. Solberg hits dust. What he can't see that it's from the crawling Citroen. McRae's rear view is also obscured. He doesn't realise Solberg is there. Once spotted, he immediately pulls over.
Okay, Mäkinen has just passed over.
Colin was in front of us and he didn't move over.
Meanwhile, there's trouble for Ford's Francois Duval. His Focus is stuck in 4th gear. He tries to switch to the manual system, but he can't do it on the move. He has to stop. The change takes 17 agonising seconds. That's a lifetime in Cyprus. Emergency repairs on Richard Burns' gearbox haven't solved his problems. On the morning's first stage, the automatic shift failed again, and he's back in manual mode. Gilles Panizzi's been superb on this endurance test, but in the end, it's the car that lets him down. Out of sight of our cameras, he retires.
I don't know exactly why, but maybe the engine stopped at this moment. The temperature, water and oil is too up.
On the road section, Harry has a chance to check out the damage. On closer inspection, he finds it's the front left drive shaft that's broken. Co-driver Risto Pietalainen phones rally engineer Emily Lefeur for some urgent advice.
It's the best way. Try to take it out, and after you locked only the front wheel, the front diff.
Under Emily's instructions, the driver turns mechanic. Rovanperä removes the broken drive shaft to avoid further damage. Heavy rain threatens to add to Rovanperä's woes on stage 17. After the downpour, the stage will be slippery and the 3-wheel drive Peugeot is sure to lose more time. Loeb's already been through, and as Rovanperä hits the last few metres of the stage, it's clear he's much slower. Almost another minute lost. Rovanperä's slipping into Loeb's clutches. Peugeot's Harry Rovanperä has been tipped to do well here as the Finnish driver takes advantage of his local knowledge.
pitkä vasen eri plus pidä.
But that impact with the rock has damaged his steering. If we look at the replay, the rock is just inside the racing line. Rovanpera's disappointment is clear to see. He makes repairs to his 206 at the roadside, but time is ticking and over 20 minutes will be lost.
His main arms bolts broken like last year, but now hit inside stones, that is clear.
Will you continue to the next stage?
Maybe if we go very slowly, maybe we can go.
Richard Burns is now right back in the thick of the action. The wet conditions have now neutralised Burns' disadvantage of running first car on the opening day of the rally. The road's base is now softer, and when he crosses over the loose gravel, it now sinks into the base and gives him the extra grip.
Marcus Gronholm is psyching himself up for the battle that lies ahead with Marco Martin. On these tricky stages, the world champion knows that he'll need maximum concentration if he wants to avoid a mistake.
7 ja oikein pitkä eri tiukka. Oikein eri jatku, oikein eri tiukka sumppu.
That slight slip gives Martin a chance, but can he take advantage and extend his lead? But Mikko Hirvonen's problems are more terminal. His focus is on fire at the end of the stage. He's later forced to retire. Finn Harry Rovanpera is no stranger to Unumpoya. He may be out of contention, but he really is flying. He lost over 20 minutes on day one because of steering problems, and he's really pushing hard to make up time. It's a big hit. Just look at his co-driver's reaction. Rovanpera is forced to retire. As you can see from this replay, the impact is so heavy, he snaps a tree in half. Skoda's Tony Gardemeister is struggling on this rally, but at least he scores well in the long jump competition. Marcus Gronholm must be aware that his rival has got problems and he's pushing hard.
Oi vittu, ja vaseri helppo 8 ja vasen hidas. No niin, we have something broken in the front and we still have 5 kilometers to go. Something went broken.
His bearing fails and he's lost a wheel. Disaster for the world champion.
I don't know what happened. Suddenly I lost the brakes and I don't know. We have not touched anything. It was big surprise. I don't know what happened.
Gronholm is forced to retire. This must be one of the lowest points of his season, but he still signs an autograph for a young fan.
Yhtäkkiä rupesi jarrut häviämään. Jarrut hävisi ja sitten pang.
Colin McRae is aiming to put the day's frustrations behind him. The Scot is desperately trying to claw back some time and climb up the leaderboard. And initially it appears to be going well. This is a very narrow but fast piece of road. McRae is on a mission here.
Left, tightens to 6 minus over crest. And long left, tightens to 5.
He's nearly sideways. He's gone on the soft stuff on the outside.
Okay, you're right.
It's a big accident and the car's a total wreck. McRae and Ringer are very lucky to get out of this without a scratch.
Just got caught on the
in the sand on the outside of a very fast left-hander here, and it pulled the car in, but it dug into the sand and rolled over.
Finland doesn't bring you too much luck, but you're both okay?
Yeah, both okay, just be a bit stiff tomorrow.
Rally after rally, Carlos Sainz produces the goods, and Finland is no exception. Once again, he's doing a great job for Citroën. He's fourth. But he hits trouble. On the first corner of the stage, he careers wide. By the end of the test, his rear damper goes, upsetting the handling of his car. And this replay shows how it could have been much worse. Only minutes later, François Duval approaches the spot where Välimäki has just gone off. As we watch the replay, you can see how Duval's wheel buckles as he loses control of the car. Amazingly, the cars of Välimäki and Duval are parked up on the stage side by side. After snow, ice, rocks and gravel, the World Rally Championship reaches its first true asphalt test of the season. Round 8, the Rally Deutschland. With the season at its halfway mark, the Drivers' Championship is one of the closest in history, with just 8 points currently separating the 4 men at the top. Britain's Richard Burns leads. He hasn't won an event so far this season, but 4 podium finishes puts him in front. Just 1 point behind Spain's Carlos Sainz. He was last world champion in 1992, but he's found a new lease of life since signing for Citroën. He won round 3 in Turkey. Reigning world champion Marcus Gronholm has won 3 of the 7 rallies this year, but his normally reliable Peugeot has been plagued by mechanical problems, and he's failed to score in the other 4. Norway's Petter Solberg had a slow start to the season, but he's building up momentum as his win in the last round in Cyprus proved. Watch out for the Hinkelsteins, the large concrete blocks that line the roads to stop tanks leaving the ranges. A number of cars came off second best in collisions with the Hinkelsteins last year. This is Marco Martin's 50th World Rally, and he would love to win it. The Estonian is delighted with the performance of the Focus on tarmac, but just when you least expect it, problems occur. He's lost the use of his top 2 gears and he's losing a lot of time. He's changing over to the manual gear change from the hydraulic system, which means disconnecting the handbrake and using the lever as a gear stick. It's a tricky maneuver when you're under pressure. Time's ticking away until the car is stopped. The fault cannot be fixed until he heads back to service, and there's another stage to tackle after this one. That's bad news for the Estonian just when it was looking so good. Just look at the frustration on Martin's face. Tony Gardemeister is aiming to finish this event for the development of the brand new Skoda Fabia, but he breaks the drive shaft and smoke from his tyres is getting into the car. Jani Parsonen had a massive crash in the wet. The Finn is hoping to secure a drive with Mitsubishi when they return to the championship next year. His co-driver Arto Kapanen was taken to hospital with broken ribs and a broken shoulder. Petter Solberg is lucky to even be on the start line. Testing his final setup for the rally, he lost control of his Impreza as he hit loose gravel on the road. The damage was so severe that the Norwegian was off the car of his teammate Tom Backman, but Subaru mechanics successfully worked through the night with the boys at a local panel beater shop, so Petter could start the rally. But no such problems for Marcus' drama for Carlos Sainz.
Le concurrent 19 qui est parti, il n'a pas pu se garder. Il l'a laissé sur la table, on a essayé de le rappeler, en fait de le faire stopper.
Time card in hand, they set off once again to the next stage. Marco Martin hot on their heels. Martin's the new rally.
4 left line maybe.
Marco Martin starts this
3
afternoon
right line
aiming
maybe.
to extend his rally lead.
3 minus left every line. 30, 2 right here, gravel.
But the Estonian is trying a little too hard. That spin on the second run through Cacese proves costly. Martin loses nearly half a minute and
right
the
here,
rally
gravel.
lead.
And 3 plus left.
After stage 4, he drops down to 7th. But on stage 5, he makes a remarkable comeback to go quickest and move up to 6th.
We had just a spin and could not find the reverse. So luckily spectators pushed us a bit further back and then we could continue.
Most of his rivals are struggling, and that's because they've chosen the slick option, including Sebastian Loeb, Rhodes' his biggest challenger for the championship. But despite the wet conditions, Loeb is really going for it. Zara is completely stuck. The seconds are ticking away and Loeb's desperately trying to get his car back on the road. Spectators come to his aid, but he's losing a massive amount of time. Co-driver Daniel Elena even gets into the boot to put more weight in the rear of the car in an attempt to get the back wheels onto the tarmac and obtain some traction.
On the replay I can see he goes into the corner too quickly, he gets offline, he then has to turn in a little too hard, loses traction and spins.
The Frenchman finally gets the car off the bank, but he's lost more than 9 minutes and he's facing in the wrong direction. It's painful to watch, so what must it be like for Loeb? He must realise his chances of victory here are gone and must be concerned about his chances in the World Championship. It takes him nearly another minute just to turn the car around. He's lost so much time, even the Production Cup driver Daniel Sola catches up with him.
I touched a little bit inside in the left and go a little bit sideways in the right, spin, but just on the side of the road I was blocked, so we had to wait for spectators and it takes a lot of time.
So can his rivals take advantage of Loeb's misfortunes? Here comes Marco Martin. He started the stage second overall and is in a perfect position to retake the lead. But like Loeb, the Estonian is on slicks.
And 3 right long.
He brakes too late and locks up the wheels.
30, 3 left.
The impact causes damaged suspension and a broken wheel. Martin stops to change the wheel, losing over 4 minutes in the process.
I think I made a second mistake this rally. We braked a bit too late. There wasn't much grip. It was wet and we were on slick, so really no grip, and went straight into the mountain and broke a rim. So we had to stop and change the tire.
Undaunted by the downpour, Sebastian Loeb is really going for it. His Zara is completely stuck. The seconds are ticking away and Loeb's desperately trying to get his car back on the road. Spectators come to his aid, but he's losing a massive amount of time. It's painful to watch, so what must it be like for Loeb? His chances of victory are gone, and it's a serious setback to his World Championship chances.
Richard Burns was still within 30 seconds of leader Loeb's time on stage 6. On the next test, the Englishman would look to put some pressure on the 3 drivers ahead of him. A disaster for Burns. He's off the road, and now he struggles to restart the engine of his stranded 206.
When you're starting. When you're starting.
He eventually gets back on track, but not before he loses 40 seconds. And with it, valuable championship points could slip beyond his grasp.
To feature brake minus 2.
I went off very close to the start, went over a crest and braked too late. Over a crest and into a field. It wouldn't start. It would have been, we would have lost 10 seconds, but I couldn't get it started. It would just did
it faster than his main rivals. One of whom is Richard Burns, who must have feared the worst as his tyres fought for grip through the surface water.
40, right max 50, right max 80, flat right 80, fast right plus, and fast right cut. 20 pitch left minus, tightens, cut.
That's a very big impact. He was caught out by that muddy corner, and the car could now be seriously damaged.
40, flat left 50. Okay, we've gone off and the steering is broken. The steering is broken.
Okay, I need to move the car. I need to move the car.
Yeah, the car is blocking the stage.
Dangerous place.
It's a dangerous place.
It's the end of the rally for Burns, but more critically, it could also be the end of his championship challenge.
You're after the rally, Richard. Could you just run through what happened?
Went off on some mud on the cut corner here. Just straight off into the bank and broke the steering. Simple as that.
Penultimate round nears its conclusion. The engine has died, and these could be defining moments in Sainz's championship challenge.
Empujar! Empujar!
After some assistance from his loyal fans, he gets the car moving again, but 40 seconds and 3 positions on the leaderboard have been lost.
The car suddenly stopped, and it was stopped for 40-50 seconds, and then suddenly start again.
But the title race was about to take its first dramatic twist. Carlos Sainz has gone off the road, and the battered Zara is buried deep in a ditch. The Spaniard appears to be unharmed, but his rally is over.
It's a mistake. It can happen. I think that Carlos can understand very well the corner, but we arrived too much fast, I think so.
In 1998, Sainz was just meters away from another championship crown, and once again, it's a last round disaster when the title was within touching distance. Outgoing world champion Marcus Grönholm is still capable of causing the leading pair problems as he takes to the 28-kilometre stage 3. As well as the slippery roads, there are also logs lying on the roadside, as Grönholm has just found out. From the replay, we can see Marcus avoids one log, but clips another, and that impact has caused severe damage to the 206. With the front left wheel hanging off, the Finn is forced to crawl through the remainder of the stage.
Oikein eri helppo risteys yli nypö. Ei saakeli! Vedä tuohon seisi, katsotaan mikä se on. Tuonne ylös vaan.
A frustrated Grönholm is even passed on the stage by the car running behind Colin McRae. Marcus attempts to limp back to service, but even the world's best rally drivers are subject to the laws of the highway.
We cannot drive, no? Huh?
can't go all the way back to the leading general. Huh? You can't go all the way back to service.
I can go. No, but I know I can. But if you allow me, no.
Too dangerous.
Yes, but I can go slowly.
Saying he was very stable and very tidy.
Grönholm's protege Juuso Pikalisto has also been having an eventful morning. Thankfully for the young Finn, he manages to rejoin following this slide, which is more than can be said for fellow countryman Mikko Hirvonen. It's the Frenchman's rally. It's a frustrating start to the day too for Skoda. Tony Gardemeister also struggles to make it to the start of the opening stage, while his teammate Didier Auriol is having problems of his own.
Putain, c'est pas possible ça. Putain, mais c'est pas possible. Et là, on y est pour un moment, je peux te dire.
Luckily for Didier, a helpful group of fans are close at hand to get the Fabia pointing in the right direction again. 15 minutes.
First day, we broken a wheel on the right side. My co-driver forgot to give me the note and he has a big stone inside. Second day, we start very, very hard and we roll after 3 kilometers in the stage. And after we say, okay, we have already lost the title. So we just try to keep going and stay on the road and wait what happened. And Carlos Sainz make a mistake, maybe 2 or 3 stages before the finish. And he lose 6 or 7 minutes, I don't remember anymore, and we win the title.
In the gloom of the early morning, Skoda driver Tony Gardemeister pushes hard through the slippery conditions. That's the end of the rally for the Finn, but he can at least see the funny side.